absolutely warranted in this case, given your behavior. And that's what the court is going to sentence you to. As to each charge, the court is going to sentence you to 24 months. Charge 1 to 5 years. You do have credit for 129 days served. On that one, the court is going to order a crime victims assessment of $130 and a $68 state cost. As to count 2, 24 months to 4 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections with a crime victims assessment of $130, court costs $325, attorney fees.
Your Honor, Mr. Roby's PSI sets forth how terrible these DVs are. The Grand Traverse one was dismissed as part of our plea agreement. In this case, I talked to the prosecutor over there and talked to her about what was happening in these cases. These were so bad, these different things, that other people were calling on them and telling what was happening. I'm not surprised that Leanne stood up today and said those things. We've talked to her throughout the entire case. We have tried to explain to her that this is a very toxic and dangerous situation. She refuses to leave. We just kept having multiple violation after multiple violation, all of which involved them both being, using alcohol to levels of major intoxication. Mr. Roby's criminal history, frankly, speaks for itself. It is long. It is riddled with substance abuse, and I think he has a negligent homicide on there. I checked the scoring. I thought it was scored correctly, but when you look at how many times he's been through the court system, the reason we have community sanctions, which is jail and probation, is for people who want to do well on probation, and it's people who want to have a chance. Mr. Roby has had 3 cases that have had prison sentences. I understand he only went twice, but he has 15 misdemeanors, a juvenile record, 4 felonies. He's only 38 years old, and these are very violent offenses. During these attacks, Leanne said to law enforcement that she thought he was going to kill her, that he threatened to kill her, and then in her PSI said she thinks he should get time served and she wants to marry him. She had strangulation marks on her neck. These cases were terrible, and he frankly did terrible when he was on bond. He didn't follow the conditions. He didn't show up for court. Nothing about Mr. Roby's criminal history or his behavior during any of these cases indicate he is a good candidate for jail. MDOC guidelines are appropriate. They're 12 to 24. They start at the bottom being the max jail sentence. And frankly, nothing about his behavior indicates he should be put in jail. I'd ask the court to sentence him to the high end of the guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I agree with the prosecutor on at least one point here, and that is that I think that Mr. Roby's history does paint a very clear picture. I think it paints a picture of somebody who has struggled with substances. I mean, you can go back to his juvenile history all the way through here, and what you'll see in his history is substance. But what you won't see in his history is, prior to these events, anything of an assaultive nature. I think you'd have to go all the way back to a juvenile case in 2002 to see anything that even suggests assaultive nature in his history. Mr. Roby will tell you here today, he is an addict, right? He has addiction problems, and he has struggled with it. And he's had periods of success. He's had periods where he struggled. Frankly, he has helped other people to get into treatment programs and get sober. Unfortunately, he should have taken his own advice and done the things that he was helping other people to do, but he wasn't there yet. He wasn't ready for it. And we see that, right? We see people who aren't ready to make the change. Mr. Roby indicates to me, I think this is his rock bottom. This is the point where he has, done something that he is truly ashamed of. Something that, when he looks at himself in the mirror, doesn't like what he sees. And again, from talking to him through this, from the start of this to the point where we tendered a plea to where we're here before you today, I've seen some of those changes. The change in his demeanor about this, right? How he talks about it, how he speaks about what he wants to do. And it's changed. I think, and I hope, that this is rock bottom for him, and that he makes the changes that he says he wants to do. He has the tools. He knows how to do it because he's helped other people to get there. I would suggest to the court, if we want people to engage in treatment and we want people to make the changes, we can make it easy, right? We can give them the easy choice. Certainly, he always had the opportunity to go into a treatment program. He could have done it at any point before he's in the jail, and the court often identifies that, right? There's nothing that stopped you from doing this. But to the extent that we can make the choice easy for him, right? If the choice is you sit in the jail or you go into a rehab facility, right? That's a very easy choice to make, right? We've made it very easy and accessible for him to easy for them. I think the recommendation here is appropriate. If the court were to sentence him to county jail and give him an opportunity at the end of that sentence to go into a rehab facility, we set him up for success. We make it easy for him to make the choice to get the help he needs, and we make it so that when he's released, he's set up for success, right? He has a firm foundation to work from instead of being released right back into the same mess. The court would have supervision on a probationary term. It makes a lot of sense for that. Mr. Roby has experienced through MDOC in the past, where he's had his outdates, his parole denied repeatedly because he couldn't get into the programming that he needed, I think during the COVID era. We can make the programming that he needs and is ready to engage in available to him almost immediately, right? We can make it an easy choice for him. And I would ask the court to follow the recommendation here and consider, again, allowing him to enter a treatment program at the end of the jail sentence, the last 30 days, 60 days, so that, again, when he leaves, he has that firm foundation. Thank you.
Thank you.
First, Your Honor, I'd like to apologize for missing court on May 7th. I've never missed court before, and I truly did not mean to. The one that I missed while I was in Grand Traverse County, I'd like to explain that, but you don't want to hear about loud sex in a hotel room. You can ask Ms. Shabikas. I'm not lying. I'll go grab the paperwork out of my cell. You don't want to hear about it, so there's no explaining it. May 7th, my fault. I was homeless. I missed it. I'm sorry, sir. Second, I love Leanne with all my heart and soul. I've struggled with substances most of my life, mainly alcohol, and my history's littered with it. You can see my file, sir. I'm ashamed to know that I hurt someone I love so dearly. I'm at rock bottom. I'm sober now, and I know I need to change. I've expressed this to you in court before. You told me that you would help me, allow me to rehab as part of my sentence, but you told me I had to be locked up for a minute first. I understand I'm not going home today, but would like to ask you to follow the Department of Corrections recommendation and give me a county sentence and help keep me local for one reason, to see my unborn child be brought into this world and allow me to go to rehab at the end of the sentence so I can become the man that my family needs to be. Leanne and my stepchildren are my life, as well as I'd like to ask for the no contact order to be removed so I can be granted the furlough for my child's birth, as well as be able to be there emotionally for my partner without the thought of, let's get this different phone number, let's get that different phone number so we can get around that and still try to be there and worry about, damn, I'm in trouble now because I got caught trying to be there for my partner. You know what I'm saying, sir? I love this woman with all my heart. I don't want to lose her for my life. Okay? I want to be able to be there, not like only emotionally, but like physically support her and take care of her when I'm released. She's my everything. I don't want to lose her. If you're willing to lift the no contact order, give me the MDOC recommended county sentence. I promise you, you'll never see me in this courtroom again. That's my word as a broken man on rock bottom. I'm asking for help. Please help me help myself, be the man my family needs me to be. This beautiful woman is all I have left in this life. I don't want to lose her because of, like she said, drunken stupidity. Like, I'm sorry. She pulled me off my square. Since 2017, when I got home from the drug charge, I've been helping people get sober. A little bit of drinking here and a little bit of drinking there, but I've been getting people off of drugs at my own cost, taking them to my home. Honestly, I never intended to fall in love with her. She was just another person I intended to help. And we fell in love. Unfortunately, two people that, you know what I'm saying? The two people with the same problem can't And we, you know what, I don't know how to explain it. We ended up harming each other, you know, so we both fell into the bottle really hard, and it just, things happen, sir. I'm ashamed, I really am, but if you'll give me this county sentence and allow me to go to rehab at the end of it, so I can go home and take care of her. She's pregnant right now. I want to be there for my child's birth, and I want to take care of her. Her and that little boy you just saw sitting next to her, Sebastian, my stepson. I love her. This is my family, so this is all I have left. I've lost my home and everything I have in it. I had to sign my dogs over to the animal shelter. This is all I have left, sir. Please. Last time I went to prison, I was only supposed to go for 8 months, right in the middle of COVID. I sat there for 3.5 years waiting on a class. No tickets whatsoever. You can look at my file. No tickets whatsoever. I behaved like a good person. And I sat there for 3.5 years waiting on a class. Please, I am scared to lose my family. Can I please have a county sentence so I have a guarantee that I get to go to rehab and go home on a certain date, sir? Please.
Mr. Roby, I did go through the report, so I'm familiar with why you're before the court here today. There's also a lot of information in that report about your background and your history and so forth. So I'm familiar with all of the circumstances here. I've listened carefully to what you've had to say, what Ms. Rodriguez has had to say, and what the lawyers had to say. And so the court has to fashion a sentence here that addresses a number of different things: public safety, punishment for your actions here.
I understand.
And when I look at this report, you know, whether you both were using alcohol or not, whether Ms. Shavikas was antagonizing you verbally or not, the report is pretty bad. What it says that you did. It says, and this is what Ms. Shavikas reported at the time, which I think is more credible than anything that's being said later. Upon leaving, Roby became upset over misplaced belongings and ordered her, Ms. Shavikas, to return them. When she returned to the vehicle, Roby grabbed her by the throat, forced her head into his lap, and bit her cheek. Then he choked her, causing her to lose consciousness. She reported waking up, experiencing breathing difficulty. Upon returning home, Roby acted violently, flipping the coffee table, damaging a television, pushing her into broken glass, resulting in a cut finger. He forced her to the ground, sat on her, strangled her with one hand, covered her mouth and nose with the other while threatening to kill her. He made multiple death threats throughout the incident. That's the first time.
It's all fabrication.
I'm sure.
It was all a story.
I'm sure none of it happened.
I'm not saying none of it happened.
Then the second
It's
incident.
fabrication, sir.
Second incident, while you're on bond for that, someone, a third party, calls and reports that you've been slapping her around in public. Ms. Shavikas revealed that during an argument, she attempted to walk away from you on Billman Road, hardly antagonizing you when she's trying to walk away. You followed her, shoved her to the ground, then picked her up, threw her down a second time. Officers observed visible injuries, including bruising, a lump on her head, a small cut, and a bleeding finger. This is when you weren't even supposed to have contact with her. You're on bond for the first incident.
Your Honor, she was wasted and I wasn't throwing her down. I was trying to help her up. She blew a .02 12 hours later and I blew a .087 at the scene. She was wasted. I was trying to put her in the car and tell her to take her ass back and go to sleep. She had court the next morning. She was absolutely wasted walking. She bounced from side to side on the road, dude. I did not throw her down or anything. There was none. I'm sorry, statement of a drunken female, sir. A mad drunken female. I'm sorry. You can ask her, she'll tell you.
Sorry, I just don't.
I know, nobody
Get
does.
injuries like that on their own. And I think acting that way towards another person, particularly your partner, under these circumstances, doing it multiple times on multiple occasions when you're on bond, shouldn't even be having contact with her in the first place.
When she follows you around the state, though,
It's not
sir.
your time to talk. It's the judge's
Yeah,
time
I
to talk.
listened to everything you had to say.
Sorry. This is.
And frankly, nothing you have to say here is going to help you out anyway, because the facts are what they are. And the fact is that you beat this woman on multiple occasions. You weren't supposed to have contact with her in the first place, and that doesn't give me any kind of confidence that, sober or not, you're going to be behave in the right way towards it. I think the sentence at the top end of the guidelines is absolutely warranted in this case, given your behavior. That's what the court is going to sentence you to. As to each charge, the court is going to sentence you to 24 months. Charge 1, 5 years. You do have credit for 129 days served. On that one, the court is going to order a crime victim's assessment of $130 and a $68 state cost. As to count 2, 24 months to 4 years, the Michigan Department of Corrections with a crime victim's assessment of $130, court costs $325, attorney fees $350, and $68 state cost. And if I didn't say, you have 58 days credit on that file. Those files to run, sentences to run concurrent to each other. You do have the ability to seek an appeal of the sentence, and Mr. Cruz, you can provide Mr. Roby with his apologies.
He's been provided in here.
Mr. Roby, you are.